markers. I'm Polly, also known as Pollygone Illustration. If you're new to my channel, hello. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And hello to anyone who's coming back to my videos, and thank you for joining us again. This week I'm going to be using an art supply I have actually had for a while, but I haven't had the chance to use that often. And I don't think I've made a video on this art supply yet. So I thought I would do it now. I kind of missed the trend on this a little bit, I think probably by about a year or so. But I'm going to be making some art with the Arteza Brush Pen markers. You can use these with water to help blend the colours together, or like just on their own. They're really good for layering up different colours. They're kind of a bit like a mixture of watercolours and kind of Winsor & Newton's drawing inks. I think that's the reason I haven't been using these that often. Like, it is very similar to ink or watercolour, so I do tend to use them instead. But these are really fun to use, and I just want to try them again because it's been quite a while since I've used them last. So let's go and get started. For this illustration, I decided to draw some bears. I really like drawing bears. I've drawn some before. I did a rainbow illustration, which you can find on my Instagram, which is linked down below if you want to go and see what I did for that. So I wanted to draw some bears again for this. As you can see, I am layering down a base colour of yellow. I really like kind of mixing colours with ink and using other colours you wouldn't really expect in that illustration. So I decided to put down the yellow first because I really wanted it to be a nice warm illustration, and I kind of wanted there to be yellow undertones for the bear. I am using an aquash water brush to blend in the ink. I think this is just easier, as it means you don't have to faff around with like cleaning brushes, and these brushes seem to be pretty like self-cleaning, so I'm not having to switch out my brushes or wash them with every different colour used. So with the little bear on the bottom, I decided that I would actually wanted his colour to be a little bit of a softer brown, so I decided to experiment a little bit and put some water on him first. I did let it dry a little bit, and came back to it later to colour in him, but I just gave him a really nice soft look. So here you can see I'm doing some shading. Aquash is quite easy to blend, you just have to apply a lot of water to it. The paper I'm using is really good sturdy paper. I don't really have a problem with it buckling, but I feel like for this, as you have to do lots of layers, you need to make sure you're using like some really good strong paper, or a sketchbook, otherwise you might find your paper starts to tear a little bit. Then I started applying the brown onto the bears. I kind of went for like a reddish brown just because I wanted to kind of keep in that warm colours. And then I used kind of this very red, kind of purpley even brown to kind of give some shading and outlines and kind of bring out those darker areas. As you can see with the little bear, I started applying the yellow just because I didn't really want him to have too many yellow highlights, and I wanted him to be a little bit softer than the bigger bear. This was kind of really an experiment. I haven't really played around enough with these pens to fully understand them. I have done a few illustrations with them that I am really happy with. I just don't feel like I've explored them to the full extent. I definitely think I should start using them some more. I wouldn't say they're the most professional art supply out there, but they are kind of fun to use and make a quick doodle with like pretty much no mess because you have no ink to clean up. You know, you just put the lid on the pen and go. So here you can kind of see that the top bear is kind of starting to come along a bit. When you apply the layer of ink, you kind of have to guess a little bit because you can't really see like what he will look like once you put the water on, but I guess that is a kind of a good thing that you can use water. If you've made like a mistake, you can try and flush it out a little bit with that water just to make it that bit softer and smoothed out. I did do a lot of layers on this bear, so you really do want to make sure you get a good sketchbook, like I said earlier. I really like this one I'm using. It's a Strathmore sketchbook. I love it. It's probably my favourite sketchbook I've ever used. The paper is so good. It's no show through, the paper doesn't buckle, it kind of lays flat to an extent, and it's just a really nice paper to draw or paint on, and it reacts really well with inks. as I'm putting down a lot of layers, I keep kind of like changing between the pens I'm using. So you'll see I'll use brown and then I'll go back to yellow, just because I kind of wanted to see what kind of light and effect I could kind of add to this and the texture, and I wanted to make sure that I got the colours I wanted to get. I really like how the back two legs came out. I really like how they look really nice and dark like they did in the reference photos I used. I don't know, I think they just kind of give it a bit of a contrast. And then I've got the yellow feet just a little bit. You can just see a little bit of yellow coming out of them, which I do really like. One of the things I think I find the hardest with these pens is like creating an outline. I feel so tempted to go around the edge, and it kind of, all the colour gathers in near the edge and it's kind of hard to get rid of it. So that's the thing I struggle with the most, I think, with it. But I do go over this later with some coloured pencils, which does kind of get rid of that problem. You can't really see it in the video so much, but yeah, you can really see that the colour just stays to where you put it down first the most, and it's kind of hard to get rid of that really bold edge, which I don't have too much of a problem with, as I do go over it with coloured pencils, but you know, it's not really ideal and I'd rather it not be there. I kind of wanted a softer, fluffier look, and that was kind of hard to capture when the pens, you know, they just don't blend that well on the first place you put them down. So as you can see, I am now going in with my coloured pencils. As you know, I love using coloured pencils to just add in that little bit more texture to my illustrations. I also think it's great for doing like outlines, and I think it just makes it look more like an illustration rather than like a detailed painting, which is something I don't really like going for, and it's not really my style. I do use a lot of yellows in this picture. I actually also use a little bit of purple as well, which I probably shouldn't necessarily be using too much of, but I think it worked well on the back legs, just because you can see there's a little bit more purple in the shadow there. I am using Prismacolor pencils to do my illustrations. They're definitely my favourite coloured pencils I have. I've actually got quite a few different colours now. I think I've mentioned this before on my channel, but you can't actually buy them individually in England, which is really, really frustrating. You can only buy them in packs. So when like one of my favourite colours is like a really nice dark blue, I'm really running low on that, and I'm just gonna have to buy the whole pack again if I want to replace it, which is kind of annoying, because they are quite expensive to get as a pack. So as you can see, I'm going in to finish this cute little guy at the bottom. He's kind of just standing on a log. When I was looking at Pinterest for some reference images, I saw this little guy and I thought he was really, really cute. The bear on the top, I actually incorporated 2 different photos together to make him, so he wasn't really like that, and I kind of made him up a little bit. He wasn't really from just one reference photo. So to finish off, I'm adding some shadow down below him with some complementary blue to kind of offset those warm tones and to kind of match the purpley bits in his fur. And I also add some little pink and purple decorations around to kind of complete the illustration. I think I definitely will try and get into using these pens some more. I definitely think I need to experiment and figure out how they work best for me and my art style. I don't think they're very professional compared to some of the materials I own, but I do think they're really good to like quickly pull out and do a quick illustration with. I definitely think I'll be sticking to my Winsor & Newton inks if I'm doing a kind of professional illustration. I think I might go and look into some tutorials on how to use these pens just so I can get a little bit better and get some practice in with them. I know there's several different ways you can use them, but I think there is a way that will work better for me and for how I like to draw. Have you used them before? If you have, let me know in the comments below and tell me what you thought of them. And if you have any tips on how to use them best, please let me know too. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below telling me what your favourite art supply is. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell button so you'll be the first to be notified for when I next upload. I upload every single Saturday morning, so I'll see you then. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Bye!